Hello everybody, Mojo from ThreeChordGuitar.com, and today the object of this video is a song by Eric Clapton, actually written by Jimmy Cox if memory serves, but nevertheless played by Eric Clapton, called Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out. It's quite the uplifting topic today, as you can see from the title of the song, but hopefully we can make it through without, crying our eyes out. Anyway, fair amount of chords in this one, but it's an interesting progression. And it's also a bunch of chords that I usually don't play together, so and that's always been one of the attractions to this song, is work on those particular chords. The song starts with a C, then move down to an E, then back to an A, and then an A7. A7, as you may recall, is the same as a regular A, except that you lift off the Johnny Cash finger here. Then you go to a D minor. In case you haven't seen a D minor in a while, this is what it looks like. So to make a D minor, I put my index finger on the first fret of the high E string, and I put my Johnny Cash finger on the second fret of the G string, and then I put my ring finger on the third fret of the B string. From there we go back to an A, back to a D minor, and then use your Johnny Cash finger as a pivot, because that's the only finger that's not going to change in the next chord. You're going to go from a D minor to an F. So as you can see, this finger doesn't move. So use it as an anchor, use it as a pivot, and it helps the other fingers fall quite nicely where they're supposed to go. So it's going to be an F and a C. You can even add an A7 at the end of that phrase. Then a D7. So a D7 is like this. So in a D7, it's almost like a D minor, but not quite. A D7 is index finger as the first fret of the B string, and then you put your Johnny Cash finger on the second fret of the G string, and you put your ring finger on the second fret of the high E string. And the next chord we'll have will be either a G or a G7. Alright. Those should probably be all the chords we're going to need. If we were to need more, I will mention them as we go along. Fair amount of chords, but it's a lovely chord progression, one that kind of flows together fairly well. For this song, you kind of want this laid-back groove going, so your right hand is going to do a lot of this sort of stuff. Imagine you're on a horse. It's the same sort of rhythm. Although I wouldn't know, I've never been on a horse, but it sounds like it. So all I'm doing is down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Up, as always, is done by my thumb. Down is done by my four fingers here. The nails of them, anyway. Chunk, chunk, chunk. Kind of like a shuffle. Anyway, that sort of thing. Alright, let's go. So we start with the C. Once I lived a life, A, of a millionaire. And that millionaire, you start with an A, and then you lift that Johnny Cash finger for that A7. Then you go to D minor. Spent all my money, didn't have any care. F, took all my good friends for a mighty good time. Bought bootleg whiskey, champagne wine. Then I began to fall so low. Lost all my good friends, had nowhere to go. If I get my hands on a dollar again, I'm gonna hang on to it till that eagle grins. Nobody knows you when you're down and out. In your pocket not a penny. And as for friends, you don't have any. When you finally get back on your feet again. So, there we're here on a C. Finally get back on your, and as soon as you get to the back up, you get to an A7. Everybody wants to be your long lost friend. I said it straight, without any doubt. Nobody knows you when you're down and out. 'Cause nobody knows you when you're down and out. In your pocket, not a penny. And as for friends, you don't have any. And that part here, the as for friends, you don't have any. You start with a D7, and as for friends, at the end of friends, you go to a G. You don't have any. And when I get to the any part, I go from the G to a G7. For those of you who play your G chord with a pinky, which you probably should, it's a better idea, it looks like this. Okay? It's very easy to go from a G7 to a regular G. I don't do it like this myself. So I've got more of a shift finger-wise to go from a regular G to a G7. So if you're new to the chords thing, feel free to start with a G with your pinky at the bottom. I taught myself how to play. This explaining this train wreck. But anyway, so I wasn't, how could I say, I didn't have the forethought to figure out that I can put my pinky down there and play with it. That didn't come out right. I hope you're following what I'm talking about. But anyway, if you're new to this, or if you're willing to learn a different way, put that pinky down. It might be easier for you. I personally can't do it. I'm too entrenched in the way I've been playing. Alright, so that's the song. Go practice. As I said, lovely chord progression. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. You can email mojo@3chordguitar.com. It's always welcome, no problem. And if I can help, let me know. Take care.